Wels Catfish. The Wels Catfish is currently the heaviest non-legendary species on the entire game, reaching weights up to 154 pounds or 70 kilos, making it one of the ultimate challenges for most players. You know, catching a diamond of these guys could be considered one of the best things you can achieve on this game, since they are honestly the most impressive looking fish there is to catch, and also one of the most challenging. So first of all, we're gonna start by talking about the tackle. You know, in order to catch these giants, it is possible to use both a bottom rig and a jig head spinning rig. Both of these options are very effective, but you gotta make sure to use the correct equipment. So in the case of the bottom setup, what I would suggest you using is the heaviest feeder rod you have available, like for example the Cetro del Rey rod from the Spain souvenir shop. It is the best option. Also make sure to equip your strongest spinning reel like the Pure Champion or the Steve Tucker. A line with a minimum strength of 44 pounds or 20 kilos, that is the bare minimum, because otherwise if you happen to hook a diamond with a weaker line, it is most likely gonna break you after fighting it for like 20 minutes. You know, the bigger the line, the better. If you have the Cetro del Rey rod, you're gonna be able to use a 27.5 kilo line, which is 60 pounds and is more than enough for any size of Wels Catfish. I also recommend you to use a hook size number 1 knot to catch everything from bronze to diamond, and leeches as a bait, at least in the case of the first location. Now in the case of the jig head spinning rig, first of all what I would suggest you is to equip your strongest bait casting rod. Like as you can see here, my strongest is the Terrin Virtuoso from the souvenir shop, so that is the one we'll be using today. It has a maximum line strength of 40 kilos, letting us use the 35 kilo braided line, which is more than enough for the Wels Catfish. And if you combine that with your strongest spinning reel like any of the ones you can buy inside the souvenir shop, you're gonna have a very capable setup that is gonna let you land any Wels Catfish way quicker than with the strongest bottom setup. Make sure to use a number 1 knot jig head to catch everything from bronze to diamond, and a worm. It is gonna be up to you to decide if you wanna use the bait casting setup or if you wanna use the bottom setup. You know, the main advantage of choosing a jig head spinning rig over a bottom fishing rig is that the bait casting equipment, including the rods and reels, is way stronger than the spinning equipment that you can use on the bottom setups. I personally still prefer to use the feeder rods, since I feel it is more comfortable to just wait for the nibble instead of having to hold the jigging button until you get a bite at the bottom of the lake, as I would suggest you while using a bait caster. Now, apart from all the equipment I already mentioned, another thing I would recommend you to carry is both a slingshot and a bunch of Boilies natural and pellets regular in order to toss them out using the slingshot and chum the waters. Well, you can actually also toss them using your hand, as simple as that, but if you wanna throw them further, you'll have to use either the slingshot or the bait boat. And make sure to only toss your chum whenever you feel the bites are starting to slow down, because if you do it too much, you are gonna end up running out of chum quickly due to the fact that each toss uses 10 units of the bait you are chumming the waters with. And whenever you decide to toss out more chum, preferably do it on a different place where you did it the last time, maybe a few meters to the left or a few meters to the right. Now going over the first location I'm gonna show you in this video, which is one of the best spots to catch a Diamond Wels Catfish here on Aguas Claras. This area, including these two markers, is one of the known diamond locations that seems to have a higher chance of producing monster catfish. I would recommend you to arrive here around 1900 in the evening, park your boat close to any of these two markers, chum the water, and after tossing out the chum, make sure to cast close to the area where the chum landed using any of the two setups I shown you. As I said, normally I prefer using a bottom setup combined with a hook size number 1 knot with leeches, and you gotta be really patient because you're gonna catch a lot of bronzes and probably some silvers before catching a diamond. Even the silvers are kinda rare. I mean, definitely don't expect to catch this diamond as quickly as you would catch other diamonds, since these guys are pretty tough. They are one of the hardest diamonds on the entire game. We are getting a nibble on the 1 knot. That is definitely Wels Catfish, since we're using leeches. You can also use other baits like Boilies natural or pellets regular, but the problem with those is that they also attract the common carps. The common carps and the mirror carps. And this location, even though it's not as loaded with carps as other hotspots for the Wels Catfish are, it also has a good number. Now this one is only a baby bronze, which is not a surprise because the great majority of the Wels Catfish you're gonna catch are gonna be bronzes. So you gotta be really patient, just keep catching bronzes, keep catching silvers, and eventually a big one will spawn. Now this one is kinda heavy. Nice tension. Oh, hold up. What do we have here? Maybe the biggest catfish we have caught today. It is looking good. I mean, he didn't really give us a fight, but the tension was very high. He must be well above 20 kilos. Let's see. I can't see him from here, but it has to be massive. Look at that, it is only silver with a weight of 28.19 kilos. This guy is essentially as heavy as an average sized diamond sharp-toothed catfish would be, but it's only silver. Oh wow. This one is taking a lot of line. I don't wanna get my hopes up too much, but this may be diamond. The tension is very promising. You know, the good thing about these catfish is that even though they are super heavy, they don't fight as aggressively as other fish species. Like for example, it is gonna take you way more effort to reel in a 30 kilo diamond common carp than a 30 kilo catfish. Simply because the carp is gonna fight harder. Is this gonna be diamond? I think he may be. You know, if he's a diamond, he's gonna be quite small because I don't think we've been reeling it in for more than 3 minutes, and as far as I remember, we caught a goal not too long ago that also took us a very similar amount of time to pull out. So let's land this monster. Oof! 42.27 kilos, seriously gold. Not too far from the diamond weight. I mean, I have no idea of what is exactly the minimum diamond weight, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a few posted that weighed less than 50 kilos. Look at the size of this giant. Oh. Finally. We hooked a big boy. How far is it gonna take us? We are exactly right here, by the way. This is the exact same spot where I caught my first diamond, and maybe this will be our second. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy is big enough. Now we can move it. It's like a sandbag. Come on, buddy. He doesn't wanna go anywhere, eh? And finally, we are managing to move it. Just barely. But it's moving. Less than 20 meters out. We've been fighting this guy for like 4 minutes. So it wasn't a super long fight, but definitely longer than the one we had with the gold. Is this guy a small diamond or a huge gold? Let's see. And it is a diamond. 48.23 kilos. That's a giant, but at the same time it is a baby diamond. You know, the model is pretty much the same size as the model of the gold we caught not too long ago. As I said earlier, these guys can reach a weight up to 70 kilos, which means that they can get a lot bigger than this, way bigger. Like this one looks small in comparison with some of the ones I've seen posted. Hold up. This one is taking line. First catfish I hooked that takes line. And it's taking a lot, this guy is heavy. I've been fishing on this spot for maybe like an hour today, and so far I've caught like 15 bronzes and 3 silvers. Well, I can say that not even the biggest silver we caught came nearly close to producing the same amount of tension as this one is putting on a line. Man, there's no way this guy isn't at least a gold. Has to be at least that heavy. And after like 3 minutes of firing, it is finally starting to show signs of tiredness. He's finally starting to get tired. He's still fighting. It's still hard to move it, but it's not pulling as hard as it was. Almost 10 meters out. He just completely gave up, and we're gonna land it in just a few seconds. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very excited to see the score of this guy. The big ones are very hard to come by and you gotta be really patient since most of the catfish you will catch are gonna be bronzes and silvers. Now let's see a weight. Wow! 51.75 kilos, it's a diamond. No way! To be completely honest, I thought it was only gold. This is without any doubt the most impressive looking fish I've ever caught on this game. Although I have to say that I would love to see the character struggling more to hold it, because right now it looks like it is holding a baby just standing upright without showing any signs of struggle. And he doesn't look precisely buff. Now, apart from the location I shown you in this video, which is by far the spot on which I've been having more luck so far, there are many other places where it's also possible to catch a Diamond Wels Catfish. All of these known hotspots are available inside the Aguas Claras help sheet that you can find on the official theAngler Discord server inside the Resource Hub channel. So if you don't happen to have any success on this area, you can definitely try any of the other locations and maybe your luck will be better. So anyway my friends, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to leave a like and a comment to support the video, and please consider subscribing to the channel to receive the notifications for all the upcoming guides. So with that said, thank you for watching and see you next time.